Hello, amazing designers. Welcome to lecture 3. Today we are going to get very familiar with Adobe Photoshop interface. This is the foundational lesson. So even if you are new, don't worry. I will guide you through every part step by step. Adobe Photoshop is very broad, but in this video we will focus on the basic workspace, the tools here, the menus, the layers, and the panels you need to start designing. So let's just dive into the video. Now at the top menu here, as I said, these are the menus. The first menu we can see here, they are at the very top and you can see them very clearly. File, edit, image, layer, type, select, filter, 3D, view, window, hub. Alright, so the top menu bar, the first one we can see file. So when you click on file like this, when you right click, you see stuff like for creating, if you are to create new projects, opening or saving and exporting your files, this way you come. So when you click here, you can say save as, and all those stuffs are all here. Now the edit menu, this is for undo and redo. You can even see the shortcuts just beside them. All right, you can see redo, cut, copy, paste, and other editing options. Now the other one is image. You can see it clearly. So the image, where you can adjust image size, rotation, and add adjustments. The next to it is layer, to create, manage, and organize layers. So if before I start, you can see this very nice student ID card. Yeah, this is a student ID card designed for an association called the Ghana Songhai Students Association. Now this ID card looks very what's the name, simple, and I don't know how you guys will rate it. Yeah, but it's simple. Now you can see in this design, as I told you, graphic designing is the what? Visualizing your ideas together. All right. So and we use text, images, and those stuff. So you can see I use text. This is a text here. I use text. You can see text. I've used images. You can see this QR code, the IDs, and everything. I've used text to do them all. All right. So you can see the elements that I've used in designing these ID cards are the ones in the layer panel. So this panel where you can see Ghana, you can see this button here is like an I button. So when I click, it's gone. So you can see Ghana Songhai Students Association is gone. So I mean that's a layer. So that element, that small thing that is here is what represent this here. All right. So all these things are the layers. And imagine all these things came together to form this beautiful and nice and simple student ID card. All right. So after the layer, we can see type text. So the type text is to work with text in your design. So if you want to work with text in your design, the select filter and all those stuff. So the select filter, the view, windows, and hub, each has a different option for customizing your work. You understand? So when you come to 3D, if you're doing 3D stuff, each of them have their own list. As I already told you, Adobe Photoshop is very broad, and with time we'll get to learn more and more. Now, next, uh, let's look here. Can you see the tools panel? So here we call the tools panel. At the left side, you can see it here. At the left side here is what we call the tools panel. It's always at the left side. So now that you open Adobe Photoshop 2025, 2021, any of it, the tools panel is the one at the left side of your screen. So we have tools panel. This is where all main design tools of some of the most important ones are. So we can see here this button, this tools panel is called the move tool. It's a tool for moving. So you can see when I just click on, you can see here they are showing a sample. They are moving. You can see they moving the element. So if I want to move this object, maybe I want to move this this thing, when I can move it, you can see it. I'm moving to where I want to. So that's the moving to. So you need to click on this first to move any of uh what do you want. You understand? In your design. So the move to, that's why it's called the move to. The next one is the selection tool. Now, all these tools have their own functions. So here I'm just showing you a little bit interface. When we are doing the Adobe Photoshop itself, like when we start our first project or when we read the time to design ID cards, we will reach this part and you get to know their function and you get to use them much more. But as I'm showing you in this video, I would like you guys to lay your hands on them and try to do stuffs like that. You understand? So don't just watch video, try to be practicing them, try to practicing them as well. All right, so it's the selection tool. You can see it's like a marquee, some rectangle, and you can see the lesser tool. You can use it to select areas of your image. You can see when you can see it there. Yeah, the lasso. So all the lasso tool, the and the rectangular marquee tool, they are all used for selection. That's why I call them the selection tools. Other designers or other mentors might have different names or have different ways of calling them. Now we have the brush tool here. We have the eraser tool, magic eraser. It has a whole lot of function. We have the shaping tool here. You can see so many shapes. All right, then you have the text tool. Yeah, like there are many. When we start doing the stuffs or when you try start laying your hands on it, you get to know a whole lot of them. And also you can see the eye drop tool. Now each tool has a small icon. You can see all of them has a small icon to represent them. All right, so you just what you need to do first is just click on the icon and to select some of the tools hidden options. Then you can click on what you want. So let's say like I've select this text. I can select a horizontal, maybe shape. So when I right click, it will give me other options. So I want a different shape. I want a polygon tool. I want a ellipse tool. I want a rounded rectangle tool. Any of these tools I want. I just need to click on them and use them to do what I want to do. Now let's go to the layers panel. This is the layers panel though. Yeah, so I've already started the design. So this is why the layers are here. I already explained them what the layer panel is. So it's more often when you have the layers panel, it's always at the right hand side here. Some of us when we are designing, when we have a very bigger screen, we take it to a different location on the screen. You understand? Now the layer tool. Every object, shape or text created is on a layer. So anything I've clicked here, any of the selection tools I've selected here and I've used them to create something for the design, okay, it's going to be it's going to be on the layer tool. All right, so when you want to design, I want to add something here, I need to create a layer. I don't know why you understand. So let me try something. So I want to add a text. So where where the name is no sign, I want to add text here. All right, so I'll write name. All right, name. You can say it, I'm coming. So I've written name. All right, then you see a new layer has been added here. You can see it. Hope you can see that. So every object, shape or text you create is on a layer. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to click the selection tool or the moving tool to move this, because where it is not nice. So I'm going to align it very well. That's the function of it. That's where it's needed and that's where it's useful. So I don't need that for the design. So I'm doing Control Z and do. So if you don't know the shortcut for that thing, you can see it here, undo, Control Z, and redo, Control Shift plus Z. All right, so the other part is what? So as I was saying, you can hide or show layers. You can rearrange them and lock them to prevent accidental changes. You understand? Because something you might be scrolling that you mistakenly change the arrangement of how your layers are. And also layers are stacked. So I've created a group layer. You see here, there's a group at the bottom here. If you can see here at the bottom here, they say create a new group. So I've created all my text into a group. That's how professionals do, so that when someone is marking your graphic designing, your work, he or she will understand where your texts are and the type of text you use and the font types and those stuffs. So you create a group here. But for teaching sake, I've made them open, all right, so that you can all see them clearly. You can see the membership ID. So when I off this, you can see that layer gets off. It's hidden. You understand? So I switch it on and you can see it there. And secondly, uh, now we are going to the color properties. All right, the color properties. So for the colors, so right now here, oh, let me go to one of the shapes. So you see this, let me go, what shape it is? Of this shape. Okay, so the down part, that shape here. So I want to change it. You know, it's in blue color. I want to change that color. I just need to double click on it. It will open the color and the color code and a whole lot of stuff you can see here. So as a graphic designer, most of us, we don't actually keep all the color codes in mind, but it's just basic. You need to know the RGB color codes in your mind in case for exams and stuff like that. All right, but for normal here, Photoshop make it easy for you. You just need to click where the color you want. So I want it to be white, I click white. So I want it to be red, I go here, I click here, then it turns red. You can see it. Yeah, but that's not the color I'm using for my design, so I'm canceling it. So you go back to its normal color. All right, so in it you can see the next it's also very next to the layers panel where you see the panels for. Now for the colors, you can pick the brush to fill in the color. You know, when we were using, was in paint application basic during the basic session, even though now Ghana education is no more doing that. Yeah, now the properties where you can adjust settings for shapes, text and layers. All right, then we also have the adjustments to change the brightness and contrast and apply filters. All right, so we also have that in Adobe Photoshop. So in the middle, like Canva, if those of you that are very good in Canva, you can see zoom in and zoom out using the control plus or using control minus. Okay. On MacBooks also the same thing, command on Mac. So you can pan around by holding the space bar and dragging. So I can pan by holding the space bar and dragging. You understand? Yeah, and also what's the name? I can get this. And we can also zoom using the control, and you can zoom what you want to zoom. You can see I'll zoom and see what I want to do, then and you can see I've retouched this picture. So we will learn also on how to retouch images. All right, yeah, everything is one at a time. So always make sure to save your work, often by pressing you already know how to save work, right? Control S. Always make sure you save your work when you're doing, because sometimes you imagine this job, losing this job, I need to start from scratch. Even though it's simple, this design is simple, but you imagine design a very complex design for a banner or food, then you lose it. It's very, very hectic. You understand? Very, very painful. And imagine you being in Karswa and you have lights out. You need to start afresh. And we thank God for modern Photoshop. It makes your job safe. But sometimes to be at the saver part, you need to save. Control S. And if you do any adjustments, Control save as, Control Shift plus S or Shift Control plus S. You click all together at the same time, then you save as. That's when, if you didn't save or you didn't give any name for the file yet, if not, save it as well first. All right, so that's where you do that. All right, wrap up. And I want to wrap up this. I hope this is very brief and it explain or illustrate what you guys want to learn about. So this is for Photoshop basic interface. Remember, this is just the beginning. Photoshop has much more to offer, but once you know the minus, tools, layers and panels, you will feel much more confident to start creating. In the next video, we will start these tools to make real projects, and you will learn how to bring your ideas to life. Take your time, explore the interface, practice using the tools. Don't worry if it feels overwhelming. All right, yeah, it's normal at first time. Make sure just click the link below to watch the full tutorial on our next this time. All right, thank you once again. All right, I've forgotten one thing to say. When you open the Photoshop as fresh, you need to go home. You can see the home here, just under the menu bar. You can see here home. So this when you get to Photoshop, this is the home button. You see the home page like normal. Anything, any sites you open, you see the home page, right? So these are the home pages. So this is the logo I've designed for this situation and answer. I did the ID card for them, and you can see the ID card. I have places in the mock-up. Here is very nice, and here as well. And you can see them. I've written out this image. You can see I've drew this house from scratch. This car too from scratch. I've animated this car, this bike too. You can see 2014 BMW. This car, you can see this a very big story building in a city residence that I'm doing. That's an architecture. So with time, you also all get time to learn all these stuffs, and you can. All right. Thank you once again for joining. And sorry, before you can get there, when you're on the home button, you need to click here, create new, because you don't have any Photoshop project. So when you click new, you then click, you name the file. So I want to name it Kofi one project one project. Then I'll click on create. All right. Yeah, then you just need to put any insights, anything you want. This is the first thing you will see if you enter Photoshop. Alright, so you click create. Yeah, I actually did this in my first video, but sorry, most of you guys, I just read the comment section. Most of you were like, you were not able to view or have access to this. Sorry, it was due to the screen recording that I did. I'm really sorry for that. Alright, thank you once again, and I hope I hope this session is very resourceful, and I pray it's have impact on most of us. Thank you. Have a nice day.